Okay, let's dive in. We're talking about that feeling, that moment you're just staring at something you need to do. It could be a big work project, could be just getting your shoes on for a walk, and there's zero, absolutely zero drive.
It's universal, isn't it? The standard thinking is, okay, I need to feel motivated first.
Right. We wait for this magical surge of willpower before we think we can even start.
We do. We assume the task's difficulty needs, like, an equal amount of internal energy to kick things off.
And if that feeling's not there,
Well, then we put it off. We maybe scroll our phones or make coffee, basically wishing we felt differently. Wasting time, really.
but here's the thing, the material we've dug into for you, it completely flips that idea. It's actually pretty revolutionary when you think about it.
Yeah.
It says motivation often comes after you start, not before.
Okay. So action causes motivation.
Exactly. You don't need the feeling to act. You need the action to get the feeling. It changes everything.
Right. And that makes sense, because if motivation is the result, then spending all that energy trying to feel motivated first is, well, it's basically just a fancy form of procrastination.
Totally.
The sources suggest that just by starting even the tiniest possible piece of the task, you kick off something called behavioral activation.
Behavioral activation. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? Like, in simple terms?
It means you get this little immediate reward, a small dopamine burst, maybe,
Uh-huh.
when you complete that first tiny step.
Like checking something off a list almost.
Precisely. And that chemical feedback loop, that's what tells your brain, hey, we're moving forward, and encourages you to take the next step.
Okay, so if taking action is the trigger, then our whole strategy needs to shift,
Right.
right? Away from trying to pump ourselves up mentally.
And towards making that first action incredibly, almost ridiculously easy, reduce the friction.
Make starting as easy as possible. That's the core advice from the source material. But what about, tasks that are genuinely unpleasant, let's say? Dealing with a pile of overdue bills or having a really tough conversation. The first step might still feel bad. Does just starting still work then?
It does, because you're not relying on massive willpower for the whole thing. You're using the principle of, like, inertia.
Inertia, like getting a ball rolling.
Exactly. You only need enough willpower for the absolute smallest, least scary first step. Just opening the envelope, maybe?
Mhm.
Or just dialing the number.
Not thinking about the entire horrible task.
Right. You bypass that big psychological wall of, oh, this whole thing is awful. You just do the tiny entry step, get that little feedback buzz we talked about.
That motivational reward loop.
Yes. That feeling of doing something. That's often enough to carry you into step 2 and then maybe step 3. It builds.
It's all about momentum then. Action is the input, the thing you can actually control.
And motivation. That's the output. It follows.
So wrapping this up for you, the listener, stop waiting around to feel ready.
Yeah, you might be waiting a long time.
Just start. Do the smallest possible thing and trust that the readiness, the motivation, it'll catch up.
It really is about launching. That's always the hardest part. So building on that idea of making the start easy, here's something for you to chew on. What is the absolute smallest, most laughably simple action you could take, like right now, today, to begin one of those tasks you're avoiding? Okay, just notice, how does removing that first tiny barrier change how you feel about tackling the bigger goal? Just that initial shift.
If anxiety has ever kept you up at night, if you've ever felt like your mind just won't slow down, or that worry is running the show, you're not alone. That's exactly why we created Mind Cove. It's a science-based app designed by a psychologist with over 16 years of experience to help you understand, manage, and finally move past your anxiety one small step at a time. No fluff, no quick fixes, just practical tools, guided exercises, and a calm space to get your mind back on your side. Download Mind Cove today on the App Store and start building a life that feels lighter, clearer, and more in your control.